What is going on, guys? It's Tony K, Urban Girl Scout Media, living the dream as always. And today is the day we're going to talk about an idea. Can you be right and wrong at the same time? I believe you can, and it happened recently this week. So we're going to the world of sports here today, boys and girls. And this week, Team USA basketball roster was announced. Invitations, whatever you want to call it, we're getting an idea of who's playing. And what a great time for the Olympics. You know what I mean? We're going to go and dominate in basketball this year. That's always been something I believed in, is that America should be at the podium for the Olympics in basketball every time. That's just, it is our game that we created. But also, we claim to have the best players in the world. We have to win that. Simple as that. But I digress. So, something happened this week. While we were talking about this roster, we had a sports personality who I consider incredibly talented at his job make a comment that I thought was a little, well, it was both right and wrong. And that was Jalen Rose, who made the comment that Kevin Love is the token white guy of the Olympic roster. He is the only white guy, actually. And first off, he was making the point that let the roster be all black. I'm completely okay with that, first off. I think this would have been, if we haven't done it already, the Olympics to send an all-black roster representing America. This would have been the Olympics to do it. I could give you 12 guys, and you could have Dwayne Wade as an honorary coach. That's how good our players are. But, of course, you're talking about those guys would be LeBron, KD, Chris Paul. Like, I would be bringing in the best of the best to represent us. Anthony Davis, even though he's brittle as shit, pretty much the best players in the NBA. And they would be told, hey, you need to go and represent your country to show the power of our community. But I thought Jalen Rose's comments were actually pretty destructive, or at least inappropriate. Because, well, there's a few pieces. First off, let's start with the lightest to the heaviest. The lightest is, our parents always told us growing up, 2 wrongs don't make a right. So if someone hits you and you hit back, that doesn't mean you got even. That doesn't mean that things are fair. That just means that you both did something wrong. For years and years, we've dealt with the racism in this country. And I get that. We're closer to success than we've ever been, but just as far. I get that. However, I don't think that using some of the same terms against any culture that you don't want used against your culture is a good idea. I am sure that Jalen Rose would be just beside himself if the roles were reversed and American hockey sent one African-American player with their team. Because I think National Hockey League has next to no African-American players, right? So if someone came out and said, well, it's just a token black guy, that would be considered offensive. And I understand there's a huge difference in dynamic between white and black people and the way that their race has been perceived and treated in this country. I get it, guys. I am not here saying I don't want equality. Actually, quite the opposite. What I'm saying is not only do I want equality, but I don't want us to use weapons that were historically seen as negative because of how they're used, to be used in some sense of fair is fair. I think it's just destructive. And when you have somebody like a Jalen Rose talking about basketball on ESPN, he has a big platform. So I thought it was kind of beneath him to make that comment. And whether he's doing it for the lulz or for the serious side of it, he knew what he said. I consider Jalen Rose incredibly talented. And I really enjoy what he does. Some people may not. I enjoy listening to him. Him and his show, Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN, is really good. It is. But I feel like sometimes we make comments that maybe don't need to be made, but they're obviously true. Yes, Kevin Love is the token white guy on this team. Why is he the token white guy? Because the NBA knows that there's enough voice out there that's going to pay attention to the Olympics. Maybe not to the NBA, but to the Olympics, that they will take note. That's my take on it. I don't think it needs to be brought up. I don't think it's fair to Kevin Love, there's nothing he can really say or do right now that's going to make it better, and he's going to get asked about it. So I think it puts Kevin Love in a bad spot. And if we're trying to respect everybody for their individual struggles, Kevin Love has openly discussed his mental health struggles. I think this sets him up. It really does. And I don't think it's fair to have that kind of cloud hanging over this team going into these Olympics. Because this is a big Olympics for the nation. It's bigger than sports. It's actually a matter of continuing to bring us together as a nation. And I think that comments like this, like, the pendulum swung the other way here. If a white person said it, it'd be dangerous and destructive. A black person said it, it's dangerous and destructive. It's not necessarily based on the skin here that makes the comment dangerous or destructive. It's the fact that sometimes we don't need to say these things because we can all read the room. And let's be honest, if you had to pick a big that could step out and shoot, was willing to sit on the bench and not say a damn word and just collect his gold medal, I think you could do a lot worse than Kevin Love. There's good choices out there, but I don't think he's the worst. So, like I said, I agree with what Jalen Rose said. I don't think he needs to make that comment, though. And I do find it hilarious that ESPN allows their talent to continue to have this kind of freedom, which I love it now. I love the fact that they have it now, except that, like, we lost Michael and Jamel. We lost Dan Levitard. Like, lost a lot of people from that platform because they were scared when it really needed to be there. Now it's just, they're jumping in on a glory lap. So, I wish they would have done this years ago, because in just 6 months since Levitard left ESPN, his content has gone from great to next level great. Michael and Jamel, both of them have interesting projects where they're able to speak their mind, and their perceptions are amazing. Like, I love listening to those two. But now ESPN's okay with it. They had these amazing talents in the building, and they were too scared to do it. Now they're okay. It's a crazy world. Tell me what you guys think. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, whatever it is you can do to support this little shit show that I call Urban Girl Scout Media. It is appreciated so much. We'll talk to you guys next time.